Hey there, BrightLearners. Welcome back to another episode of BrightLearn, where we dive deep into the issues that matter. And today we're bringing you an important and eye-opening conversation. I recently had the chance to listen to an interview between Mike Adams and Matt Bracken, and let me tell you, it's a doozy. These two guys aren't just your average analysts. They're digging deep into some of the most critical and potentially dangerous situations facing our country and the world right now. So, buckle up and let's dive in. Matt Bracken, if you're not familiar, is an author, a veteran, and a sharp analyst who has a knack for predicting future events. His books, like Doomsday Reef, are not just thrilling reads, they're eerily prophetic. In Doomsday Reef, he explores a world where the power grid has collapsed and society is trying to rebuild a decade later. It's a world where the economy has to restart from scratch, with no banks, no fiat currency, and no established systems. It's a wild ride, and it's one that, according to Matt, might not be as far-fetched as we think. Now let's talk about the meat of the conversation. Matt and Mike are discussing the potential for a major breakdown in the United States, and they're not mincing words. They're talking about the collapse of the financial system, the vulnerability of our power grid, and the increasing threats from both foreign and domestic enemies. It's a lot to take in, but it's crucial. One of the key points Matt makes is about the end of the fractional reserve banking system. This is the system where banks keep only a fraction of deposits on hand and lend out the rest. It's a system that, according to Matt, is unsustainable and is on the brink of collapse. He draws a parallel to Keynesian economics, where the famous economist John Maynard Keynes once said, "In the long run, we are all dead." Essentially, the system has been designed to benefit the present at the cost of the future, and now, that future is here. The conversation then shifts to the practical implications of such a collapse. Matt explains that our cities are like giant aquariums, completely dependent on external systems for power, water, and food. When these systems break down, the cities will collapse. He uses the analogy of a cruise ship running aground on a reef and not being rescued. It's a stark image, but it drives home the point. Our modern cities are artificial constructs that can only survive as long as the systems supporting them are intact. But it's not just about the financial and logistical collapse. Matt and Mike also discuss the growing threats from foreign actors. They mention the possibility of a grid takedown, where multiple attacks on power transformers could cause a cascading failure of the power grid. This isn't just theoretical, it's something that has been demonstrated in the past, like the Metcalf attack in California. Matt points out that our enemies are well aware of this vulnerability and are likely planning to exploit it. The interview also delves into the domestic threats, particularly the radicalization of the left. Matt emphasizes that while these groups might not be proficient in tactical combat, they can still cause significant damage by disrupting supply chains. For example, derailing trains, sniping at truck drivers, or even more insidious methods like using green lasers to blind people at rallies. The point is, when the trust that keeps our society functioning breaks down, the consequences can be catastrophic. One of the most chilling parts of the conversation is Matt's discussion of what happens when cities run out of food and water. He talks about the concept of murder cannibalism, where people start hunting other people for food. It's a grim scenario, but it's one that he believes is possible if the supply chains break down. He draws a parallel to events like the Rwandan genocide, where propaganda and hatred were whipped up to the point where people were willing to commit unspeakable acts. Mike and Matt also discuss the upcoming election and the potential for chaos if Donald Trump wins. They believe that both foreign and domestic enemies will see this as an opportunity to attack. They mention the vulnerabilities in the Secret Service and the potential for false flag attacks, where the true perpetrators are hidden behind a false trail of evidence. In the face of these challenges, Matt and Mike urge listeners to take action. They recommend moving away from blue cities and states, getting prepared, and staying informed. Matt suggests following him on X, formerly Twitter, and Gab for the latest updates, and he also invites people to check out his books, which offer a more in-depth look at these issues. So, what can you do? First, stay informed. Follow trusted sources like Matt Bracken and Mike Adams. Second, get prepared. Whether it's stocking up on supplies, moving to a safer area, or learning essential skills. Being prepared can make all the difference. And finally, stay connected. Reach out to your community and build strong, resilient networks. This is a lot to take in, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But remember, knowledge is power. By staying informed and prepared, you can navigate these challenging times with confidence. Thanks for tuning in, Bright Learners. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with your friends and family. Stay safe, stay informed, and let's keep learning together. Until next time, this is BrightLearn. Take care.
This has been a BrightLearn.ai summary of an interview between Matt Bracken and Mike Adams on September 26, 2024. The full interview is available at brighteon.com, where you can also find podcasts and special reports by Mike Adams and other creators. Visit naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage of this interview and breaking news on critical stories that will keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.